Hello students, today we are going to study about modal verbs. Now, what are they? It is visible in your screen. It is divided into many categories like shall, should, will, would, may, might, can, could, must, ought to, dare and used to. So, we use modal verbs to talk about an ability, a duty, a need, a necessity, or a want. So, in fact, what are modals? What is so special about them? So, we can also define it as they are auxiliary, or which can also be called as and helping verbs that provide additional and specific meaning to the main verb of the sentence. Now, here are some of the important difference through which we can categorize these modal verbs. Now the first one is modal verbs are always followed by a verb in its base form. Example, he can speak English. If you compare I speak English, he speaks English. You may take the book to school. She may take the book to school. Now comparing this sentence, you take the books to school, but it is not possible to write in modal verbs she takes the books to schools. Okay. In the next condition, modal verbs do not take s in the third person in the simple present. Example, he speaks Russian. He can speak Russian, but it cannot be written as he can speak. She may eat a pizza at 9:30. In the third condition, you use not to make modal verbs negative. For example, will not, shall not, and etc. Even in simple tense and simple past. So, we don't use the helping verb do. You can understand this by an example. He should not be late. They might not come to the party. If you compare it with the similar sentence, I don't like to be late. I cannot eat any more cakes. I don't eat carrot cakes. So, in the same way, the other conditions would be many modal verbs cannot be used in the past tense or the future tenses. For example, he will can go with us. This sentence is completely wrong. You cannot form this kind of sentences in modals. She must studied very hard. This is also wrong. So the aspect is written in highlighted in the with the red color. Now, excuse me, modal verbs and their substitutes. We can categorize these modal verbs into different substitutes and how they going to play different roles in different sentences. So we can understand this in the form of the text written in this slide. Many modal verbs cannot be used in all of the English tenses. That is why we need to know their meaning and the substitute for these modal verbs. So we are going to see the meaning and the substitute and the replacement of this modal verbs. You can watch this in the bold letters. It is written will and will not. So we use this model to speak about the future actions that we are sure or rather convinced about. So will can be replaced by will not also. So the sentence comes before us in this pattern. Today is Tuesday. Tomorrow will be Wednesday. I know it because this is a known fact. You can understand this sentence in this manner. Similarly, we will not be in the office tomorrow. It can be understood as I know it because he is going on vacation. Can, could means be able to. We use these models can and could to express the general ability or the disability. The next will be possibility or impossibility, opportunity, permission or request. Now we can look at one by one. I can walk. I have the general ability to the action of walking. So I can't hear you. It is too noisy, which means I don't have the ability to hear what you are saying because of the noise. Similarly, I have some free time. I can help her now, which means I have the opportunity to help her. I can't help her now because I don't have any time. So, which means I don't have the opportunity to help her. So, you can easily distinguish these two differences. Now, the past form of the can is could. As we all know, in the past, can changes to could. So, the sentence comes out to be he could speak only Marathi when he was a kid. He could not speak to his neighbor who speaks only English. So it's a general ability. So practice, you can look at these sentences in the form of can and could also, other sentences. Now just move on to the next model, which is may, which means future possibility or get permission. You can use it in both the pattern. The examples are I may choose to wear the red dress in the party, which means I have two dresses. There is a chance that I will choose to wear the red dress and not the blue one. Next example, today he may come on time. Although usually he comes late, there is a possibility that today he will come on time. So both these sentences are explained in this pattern. Other sentences are may I come to visit you at 5 o'clock, which means what this means to convey I want to come to you but I am not sure that you want me to come, that you will be at home or that you will let me enter. The next example will be you may take only one candy, which means although there are more candies, I permit you to take only one of them. Next is might. Might conveys possibility. So we may come on time, but if you miss the bus, we might be late. Which means I plan to come on time and that's why I want to catch the 7:15 bus. Or if I catch the 7:30 bus, I can come on time or not. I am not sure. In the next example, if you advertise on the internet, you might get a lot of spam to your email box, which means although you don't want to get spam, there is a risk that you will get it. The next modal verb will be should or should not. So it advise or a strong suggestion, it complies. Examples will be you should drink water every day, he should study for the test tomorrow. Conditions are given in the bracket in the form of recommendations and advice. Not recommending something or not advising something, if you look at in this way. So the sentences will be she should not buy that old car. He should not arrive in Raipur until tomorrow. Conditions will be same. The recommendation, advice, and the next one will be the expectations. So one thing I want to tell you, in your university examination, these types of sentences will definitely come, where you will find conditions given at the end of the sentence. Next one will be, if you want to be a champion, you should practice every day, which means you don't have to practice, but then you will not get better. Next, when you make a cheesecake, you should first check that you have cheese, or else it will not be a cheesecake. Simple. Next model will be must or must not. So parallelly we can use it. Must is very strong advice or obligation, and what conveys must not, things you are not allowed to do. So examples will be, she is sick, she has high fever, she must take a pill. Very strong advice, obligation. You must not ride your bike without a helmet. You are not allowed to do. So it's a prohibition. You have to uh, wear helmet while riding a bike. Now, used to. This is also a very important term, which means say that something happened continuously or frequently during a period in the past. Examples will be, I used to live in London, that's why my father always used to say. I didn't used to like him much when we were at college. Now these are some of the semi-modals which are also used in the sentences. First one will be the ought to, which means be supposed to or be allowed to. So what they conveys, be supposed to conveys we expect him or her to, and be allowed to is permission, someone will let permit him to do it. That's a great movie, you ought to see it or you must see it. The teacher is supposed to allot the grades on the basis of tests and assignments. On Friday, the students in our school don't have to wear the school uniform. They are allowed to wear any color they want. So they are permitted to, they can even wear a pink shirt with a yellow strips. Now, the second semi-modal is dare. This one is very, very important, and every year one question will be asked from this modal verb. Dare means have the courage to do something. So, as a modal verb, dare is used in negative and interrogative sentences. It is followed by a bare infinitive. I dare not think how many victims there are. How dare she criticize us? Dare as a main verb can be followed by a bare infinitive or a to infinitive. When we are using infinitive, we have to use mandatorily to. Do you dare to tell him what happened to his bike? Who dares to argue with him? With me. He didn't dare to look back. No one would have dared to think about it. But in the expression, don't you dare, it is always followed by a bare infinitive. So the example is, that's why it is unique. Don't you dare interrupt me. So after seeing these models, I have posted some of the practice exercises for you, so that with the circle given for the answer portion, you can practice it, and still you have to practice this more. These are some of the few examples, so you can watch out from here. These are the practice exercises. And these are the references from where I have taken the slides. Okay, thank you.